Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Peteman Reviews. Today we're going to start looking at some Combiner Wars Transformers, and to begin with we're going to look at Combiner Wars Smokescreen. Now with Combiner Wars the idea is you have lots and lots of different Transformers that combine. Officially, and by official I mean by the IDW comics, you didn't have that many combiners. Some were very much shoehorned in there, such as Optimus Prime's combiner form. However, with this particular one, with Smokescreen, who combines with Skylynx and the three other Transformers, which we will come to in some next episodes, to perform Sky Rain, you have combiners that never existed, except in the toy format. Now, I'm not going to do Sky Rain, because I don't have Skylynx, and the reason I don't have Skylynx is, frankly, I don't like the robot. Not actually the character, but actually the Combiner Wars variant, and I think that Sky Rain looks pretty stupid, to be perfectly honest with you. That said, the various components of Sky Rain, in this particular review, Smokescreen, does look quite good, hence the being a bit selective about what Transformers I get. So, Smokescreen here comes with your typical Combiner Wars kibble, namely the somewhat generic hand/foot/gun component. So you'll see these the same on all the other ones. I'm not going to go over how they transform or possibly even show them all, because I don't really think they're very good, to be honest. I've never been a big fan of them. They probably look their best on Bruticus, but that's because they've been coloured in and they are slightly different from the generic appearance, but yeah, don't like them. Take that way. What I do like is this gun here. It's quite nice with the triple blaster layout there, some nice scope, works well. As for Smokescreen himself, well, he's in his classic colours with the number 38 on. Colour scheme's the same. Indeed, if we even get the original Smokescreen here, this is the commemorative edition, you can see the similarities between them, particularly in the colour scheme. That said, the Combiner Wars variant is considerably brighter and a considerably more streamlined car, though somewhat fatter. It's a bit of a shame they didn't keep the, you can see here, the little raised section here. It's a bit of a shame they didn't keep that tail fin on here, because they could easily have done that. But nevertheless, it works very well. Now, the Combiner Wars variant of Smokescreen is but a re-release itself. It's a re-release of Wild Rider. No, it's Dead End even, who is himself a re-release of Wild Rider. So the three cars are near identical. They transform identically too. But that said, original Smokescreen was but a re-release of Prowl, so it is at least consistent. And whereas this Smokescreen did have some moulding differences, the aforementioned tail, spoiler I should say rather than tail fin, so used to reviewing planes, the aforementioned spoiler, and the fact that he doesn't have the cop lights, so does our Combiner Wars Smokescreen have quite a few variances too. Now this one, interestingly, does appear to have a ridge there for police lights, which is slightly weird. Intakes there at the front, and the sports car look as well at the front has all been added. You notice on Dead End it's very smooth and sleek. There's none of that. It's almost kibble, isn't it? It's sports car apparel. Equally, you notice this has been somewhat moulded to be somewhat streamlined too. Otherwise, it works well. I think it's a little bit more angular, a little bit more aggressive than Dead End. But you would expect that. Dead End is meant to be a supercar. Smokescreen is meant to be a sports car. I also quite like the highlights here, the different colour, whereas see on Dead End it nicely blends in. Here it stands out. It works on both in different ways. One's meant to be bold and brash, and one's meant to be sleek and smooth. And actually they've given quite a nice finish with how they work. Okay, so let's transform Smokescreen. It's exactly the same as Dead End and Wild Rider before them, in that you've got the feet here, head flips here, and these form the arms. I think we'll start with the feet, shall we? So, flip out, like so, and then they will just flip up like that. Pull them apart. This is the combiner peg here, which should flip out like that, and then that flips it helps make sure that you have this knee part fully extended, like so. Otherwise it stops the full rotation of the leg. So again, on this one you can see the knee pegs this part, so we flip it forward like that, and now we can close it round. The waist then needs to swivel round so that it's facing the right way. Now onto the top part. So we're going to just pull out the arms. It would help if I have my hand in the way. Pull out the arms, like so. Same again on this side. Pull out the arms, and then you flip this down to reveal the head. And then you flip this up. Actually, you probably want to move this up first, and then you flip this up and back. Okay, and then we just want to fiddle around with the arms so that they kind of go up like that. Hands are in a fairly now standard configuration for most Transformers, stored within the arm, and they just flip out like that. And then he has his gun, just pop in here. Okay, there we are. Smokescreen. He looks pretty good, doesn't he? I particularly like the colour scheme and how it works. We'll just have a look at the G1 Smokescreen as well. Okay, so G1 Smokescreen. Obviously I put the missiles on him. Otherwise, there we are. Otherwise he is in his original form. Now, as I've said before, it is a redeco of Prowl, the G1 Smokescreen. So, aside from the colour scheme, it's identical to him. What I like about the similarities between them is you notice they both kept the gold horns there and there. They kept the gold horns on them, which is quite a nice touch. And also the face. The facial face is silver, and the blue helmet effect on them too. They do look very good. Obviously, Combinable Smokescreen is considerably more blue than he is red, whereas G1 Smokescreen is considerably more red than he is blue. But that's just the way the transformations work. I mean, you know, here you've got the top part of the car and the chest plate of the car at the front of the robot. It's reversed here. If we turn him around, you see that's where all the red is. It's on the back. If we turn him around, well, you do have quite a bit of red still, but some blue. But that's the key difference between them. You get the front of the top of the car, which is where all the red is on the back of Combinable Smokescreen, whereas it's on the front of G1 Smokescreen. Otherwise, the two are very similar. The gun, again, you look at this one's gun. It's fairly standard affair. Well, it's basically Prowl's gun, isn't it? Here, at least, Smokescreen gets his own weapon, or at least his own version of the weapon, and it works really well too. Which one is better? Well, if you want to go with classic colourings and original style, you kind of have to go for the G1 guy here, commemorative edition or otherwise. However, as an actual Transformer, Combinables is far better. Far more posability, but you'd expect that with modern day Transformers, wouldn't you? I do particularly like the weapon. I think the fact that he is a combiner is utterly pointless. Smokescreen's in no continuity other than the toy is he a combiner. At least no continuity that I've seen. I'm sure there is a continuity out there, but if there is, it certainly isn't a mainstream one. It's just, if he wasn't a combiner, if the toy was not a combiner, would it have lost anything? I don't think it would. So one adds, what value does it have being a combiner? None, other than you have to then buy 4 other toys to make them combine. And that's what it's all about. The fact that he's a remould of a Stunticon isn't really a problem, because let's face it, the original Smokescreen was but himself a remould, just this time of an Autobot. So Smokescreen hasn't ever really had his own mould. That said, they have done quite a little bit of differences on here. As I spoke about earlier with the slipstream, well, not slipstreaming, but with the detailing in the car, the fact that he's a far more angular and aggressive car, and obviously in robot mode, the head is clearly Smokescreen. So it has had a fairly extensive remold to it. But fundamentally it's the same kind of Transformer, whereas the G1 Smokescreen had a much more subtle remold, mainly difference in colours, and virtually only difference in colours. So actually the G1, not the G1, the Combiner Wars one does a far better job of establishing a unique identity for Smokescreen than the original one did. Worth picking up. I don't think they're massively expensive. I got mine a while back, so I don't know what the prices are like for them now. But it's definitely worth picking up if you can find them around. And it's a worthy addition to your collection. Whether you want to make them into Sky Rain is up to you. Personally, I think Sky Rain looks stupid, so I'm not going to bother. However, you might want to have all the combiners, in which case it's an unheard of Autobot combiner. But let's face it, there's not that many Autobot combiners out there compared with the Decepticons, so it might bring a bit of balance to it. Thank you very much for watching. Please do click on any videos below. Why not subscribe, and I'll see you on the next review. Thank you. Goodbye.